taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taking things out of context. Out of context.
Taken out of context.
Taken out of context.
In the context.
We have more context.
Out of context.
Out of context.
That is so out of context.
And take shit out of context. Out of context.
Out of context.
Take it out of context.
No, we're going to flesh this out. What am I saying? We don't take it into context.
Clipping out of context.
It was out of context.
It's hard for your words to be taken out of context.
The full context?
In a modern day context.
It's only the context. Other important reminders to why context is so important. So,
Hey everyone, it's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context, fair use disclaimer, free speech disclaimer. Okay, so Blake Neff, regarding Candace Owens and Turning Point USA, posts this on X. The live stream we announced on the show Wednesday has been set at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th. A collection of Charlie's friends will respond to statements made by the real Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest. We'll be live streaming from Charlie's Phoenix studio. Our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she is welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of today. And this came directly after Turning Point USA on Charlie Kirk's show posted that they would be addressing Candace Owens and every accusation that she has made against him, his organization, and the people that work for his organization, including his wife, Erica Kirk, who has been acting as CEO and is now officially CEO since he died on September 10th of 2025. Candace Owens did a reaction to said video yesterday on her show, Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. She says verbatim that they can pick the time and they can pick the place. But you know how she is. She's going to say, I didn't say you can pick the day, because as predicted and as cliche as she is, that's exactly what she posted. Kind of weird how you didn't email or call me to ask about times or availability and chose to instead tweet this confirmation out at midnight. Why am I learning about this on X? I don't know, the same way you do the same exact freaking thing. Candace continues, December 15th does not work in person, and 2 p.m. PT is also literal time. I do my podcast live every day, which you know, but we will happily cancel the daily podcast and we'll join you guys virtually instead for the live stream on the 15th, if that works on your end. Let's lock it in, ? Well, there's a lie spotted in there already. Candace Owens and her show on YouTube is not ever live. I can tell you this with certainty and with fact, truth. She pre-records her episodes. They edit them. Then they upload the video to YouTube, and then they publish it to air live at said time. That's why she never responds to comments that are live on the said same day. She quite literally responds to the previous episode, whether it was the day before or the Friday or Thursday before, the top comments, because she is not ever live on her episodes on YouTube. She lives in Nashville and I live in St. Clair County, Michigan. I'm Eastern Standard Time. Nashville is Central Time. So as of right now, it's 10:47 p.m. It's 9:47 p.m. in Nashville. Her videos are not ever live, and her show is published, uploaded previously already, and then published to air live, the same way you can put it unlisted, private, public, or publish it to go live at a certain time so you can get any of the monetary gain from the live gifts, the super chats, the super stickers. And she always has her show air between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is between 4 and 5 p.m. her time, Central Time. Now, I'm not really good with time zones, not with remembering them by heart. Not all of them anyway, but Candace Owens, she really doesn't understand time zones. She also continued on with this additional post. We'll also add that I am happy to jump on Charlie's show any day before then, virtually as well. I was serious when I said that we could do it today even. Virtually, I can make it happen pretty much any day because it's easier to move things around with the kids and find someone to sub for my morning homeschooling. Oh, but her comments were eating her alive. Colonel Kurtz says this, oh please, this is the biggest story of your life, and you've been demanding these people respond to you and give you a forum. And now you're refusing to meet in person. You've accused these people of the worst. The least you could do is face them. I'm sure your kids can miss a day of Conspiracy 101, especially at such a young age. Another person says you literally said that they can pick the place and the time and added that you could do it tomorrow. But now suddenly, with 11 days notice, you have an issue with the place and the time. Please, for fuck's sake. Homeschooling? Your oldest child isn't even 6. That's starting kindergarten. And she just recently had her 4th child, which must still be an infant. I don't even think her youngest child is 6 months old yet, or around that. Another person says that she's the biggest fraudster in history. Nothing says I'm Christian like slandering a dead man's family. Candace is ruled by Satan. There is nothing godly about her. Here it is, the dumbest comment of the day. You sound confused and lost, lol. You have it backwards, bud. Candace been saying random claims, switches stories, and offers no evidence or proof for anything she claims. She has made a killer since Charlie's death, talking about him and implicating Turning Point USA. They ain't lying, though. That's the truth.
So you notice that's like a Snopes tactic. When he says the quote, it's actually not a full quotation. I never said that, obviously, in the context that he put it in, that Charlie's friends, quote, had to know he was going to be murdered. Did I say the sentence, had to know he was going to be murdered? Perhaps, but we're going to need to hear the full sentence.
No, actually, Candace, you didn't say that. Let's see what you actually said, shall we?
I took a big risk to tell the truth, and my hope is that you will at least check me on it. Analyze and verify the flight patterns.
I want the email so bad.
So, I think we know why Kash Patel is out, right? I mean, I read this, checked it, verified it, and I just want to know why, Charlie. I want to know why the decision was made to murder Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends. A decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends. That's all I have. I want to know why.
What? Okay. All right, Candace, what context was that in? I would really like to see you defend that and try to explain that away as to how that statement, I want to know why the decision was made to unalive Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
What's the context?
Explain that context, Candace. How is that possibly saying anything other than exactly what it says? I'm going to read it again for you guys. You guys ready? I want to know why the decision was made to unalive Charlie Kirk, a decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
Because you're trying to context it in a way that is just untrue. And I don't think it's necessary. If you're willing to have a conversation that you need to lie about anything that I've said, people have watched the show. They know exactly what I've said. And I tend to stand by what I've said. And
You are correct, Candace. People know exactly what you said. Good luck explaining that one away.
Update for you. When the clock struck midnight last night and Cinderella's carriage turned back into a pumpkin.
Credit and shout out to the Jay Witt podcast and Bronson. But I had to show you that clip under fair use. But Candace Owens and using language to manipulate and her stupid Disney metaphors. No one cares about Disney. No one cares for the cheesy metaphors. Spit it out. Say what you mean and mean what you say. The truth really is just that simple. And if you are speaking the truth, you don't have to do word salads. You don't have to psychologically manipulate. You don't have to use metaphors and technicalities and overanalyze and dig into the nitty-gritty semantics. Only in America, where speech is free. If you decide to utilize that right and not just shut the hell up, my daddy used to say, if you don't got nothing nice to say nothing at all. Yeah, that comes to mind. But if you decide to keep talking, you are going to be criticized and critiqued, especially the way that she manipulates with words.
Turning Point USA decided it was a good time to issue a confirmation plus an ultimatum, a time and a date for our debate. I should tell you that they did not send me an email. They did not send me a text message. They did not coordinate anything with me. They simply made this midnight announcement and gave it a countdown.
That X post came directly after she had already responded via her show December 3rd, 2025. Because in their initial video, they said the ball is now in Candace's court, of which yesterday's show, she does respond. She literally says, any place, any time. And they must have convened or had a meeting with each other, and they decided on such day and time. That is not an ultimatum. That is them responding to what she said in her show yesterday. I have a legit question. Does Candace Owens believe that her audience is that stupid? Because like she said about Donald Trump, never underestimate your audience. She said if she had any advice for Donald Trump, never underestimate the American people. Never underestimate your audience. And she is underestimating her audience.
24 hours to respond. So we're going to discuss that. And let me just tell you, Turning Point is so done after this. You just cannot survive being this disingenuous.
Of course they can, because you did. If you haven't been a fan of Candace Owens for the last couple of years and actually watched all of her content, all of her different shows, and all of her series, you would know that she has an obsession with Hollywood. And that comes from a deep-rooted place inside of her that wanted to be famous. She wanted to be a celebrity. In fact, I strongly believe that she wanted to be an actor or in the music industry, because not only has she talked and made friends in the music industry, she talks about it all the time. She also talks about Hollywood and actors all the time. Meanwhile, she is playing the biggest role of her life. And she thinks she's so genius because she's got you all fooled. She's got blinders on you and wool right over your eyes. So Candace does what most sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, histrionic, or borderline people do, especially ones that are so egotistical that they really do have a drive to be famous. Most of Hollywood is narcissistic. She's not a singer. She's not a musician. She's not an actor. She's not a dancer. But she clawed her way there, and then she's going to tell you all that everybody else is disingenuous. She is the most disingenuous, and she's still okay. In fact, she is a living, breathing example and embodiment of how famous, well-known people not only sell their soul to the devil for millions of dollars, they manipulate everybody else out of theirs, all while playing in your face and telling you that they are godly, they are God-fearing, that they are anointed, that they are chosen, that they are talented, that they are more intellectually inclined. They are more important, they are more valuable, they are better than you, they are more deserving, and that they earned their fame and their millions. And then she sits there and talks about Hollywood and elitism to make you feel like she's one of you, one of me, one of us, one of the poor guys that never gets the opportunity or chance. Because we weren't mentally ill enough to manipulate a man, a millionaire, not only into marrying us, but giving us status, a title, power, wealth, control. That is elite. And Candace Owens is exactly the type of person who will claw her way to that, no matter what it takes. You know how they say there's no ethical billionaires? There's no ethical millionaires either. Because if they were ethical, they wouldn't have millions or billions. They also wouldn't make millions off of the bullet that went through their so-called friend's throat. And that's according to her own words, that Charlie, quote, caught a bullet to his throat, unquote. Because the truth is, she's not investigating anything. Utah law enforcement brought charges and found the person that is responsible for killing Charlie Kirk. And the topper that is going to be on this shit cake at the very end of all of this is going to be that 8-second clip where she says verbatim, quote, we are going to solve the murder of my friend, Charlie Kirk, unquote. Because nothing is as fake and as gay as somebody who has to psychologically manipulate people for views, lie to their audience and underestimate their audience for views, to harm real people for views, and use her dead friend for the topic around all of it.
We also are going to get back into the Egyptian planes today. They are also working very hard to try to convince us that that was nothing. That's just what Egyptian military planes do. Fly around the skies in the middle of Provo when Charlie Kirk is being assassinated. Well,
they're working so hard to try and convince us. Who is she talking about? Turning Point USA? Turning Point USA has absolutely no jurisdiction or any connection to why an Egyptian military plane would be anywhere in the world. You don't have to be smart or intelligent. Like Charlie Kirk said, being dumb is not defensible. It is not a defense anymore. But you don't have to be smart or intelligent to realize that Turning Point USA is not going to have answers to why a foreign nation has a military plane anywhere in the world. And this is exactly how she does this circle jerk, this human centipede with her audience to make them feel like they are one with her, that they're on the side of good, they're on the side of righteousness, they're on the side of fighting demons, Satan, evil. Candace Owens has proven herself to be evil. How many more millions does she need to make before she will quit? She is so condescending, so cocky, so conceited, so egotistical, megalomaniac, psychological egoist, to humble herself, to admit that she has lied, that she has manipulated and intentionally misled people, to apologize, to admit that, yes, like she did on CNN, she knows that Tyler James Robinson probably was involved. Yeah, they caught him. They charged him. They arrested him. He's awaiting trial. She can deflect all she wants. She can manipulate you into believing that it was some kind of political assassination all she wants. But harming real people in the process to where they're getting death threats based off of a lie, that is pure evil, no matter which way you try to spin it.
anyways, it's pretty obvious the call went out. Again, this was some sort of a PR maneuver. That's why they're sending out Cam Higbee. They're laughing at everything that we say, everything that we do.
That right there, everything we say, everything we do. No, Candace Owens, we are laughing and making fun of all the crazy things that you have said, that you have done. There you go with the exact manipulation that I am talking about of language, of words, linguistics. She is putting on a big act. She is an actor. She is entertaining you with lies, conspiracy theories that really do harm real people. Therein lays the problem and why so many people have come to the same logical conclusion. I think she truly does have a cluster B personality disorder, if not two. But I also think that she is fully aware of what she is doing, and she is doing it intentionally. Because mark my words, Candace Owens is driven solely by fame, attention, and money. She is the biggest attention-seeking grifter of our time on social media.
That's kind of their new shtick, is like, we're the cool kids. We're just going to laugh at you, you know, trying desperately right now, clearly, to turn my very real claim that the country of France tried to assassinate me into a joke.
I'm just going to keep showing a whole bunch of pictures of the president of the Republic of France, Emmanuel Macron, and his wife, Brigitte Macron, kissing. Because guess what? Even if Brigitte Macron really is trans, and she really is Jean-Michel Trogneau, so what? They clearly look like they are in love. They clearly act like a married couple. They've clearly been together forever just to piss Candace Owens off. The age of consent in France is what? 15? But we are not France. We are America, and we should focus on America. The same way she bitches at everybody for constantly focusing on Israel and their support for Israel because it's biblical, it's from scripture. She constantly is focused on France. But yet the assassination plot is null and void because she didn't show any proof. In fact, she intentionally omitted it from 2 whole episodes. As I've showed you, and I will show you again, that is not the behavior of somebody who just learned of a tri-national assassination plot against them. There is not a single damn logical thing that anybody who really does believe Candace Owens can say that will justify, reason away, and if or but condone her behavior. And I will show it again at the end of this clip. She posted about the assassination plot on X on November 22nd, 2025. Yet she did an entire show on November 20th of 2025 and November 21st of 2025. The reason that we know she is lying because she let us catch her. In the post on X, she says that 2 days ago, I learned of a plot. Well, on November 22nd, 2 days prior would have been 11/20. Like I said, 11/20 and 11/21, she did episodes, and yet she omitted purposely about this supposed assassination plot that she learned. She didn't mention it at all on 2-hour-plus long episodes. Why? Well, because I'm not lying, and it's not just my opinion. It's a fact. She orchestrated that, and she didn't plan on telling people. She also lied when she forgot to tell everybody that she was going to take a whole week off for the Thanksgiving break, because she accidentally said, I'll see you Monday. Oh, wait, no, I won't. Meaning she already knew on that Friday that she was going to be taking the whole entire next week, Thanksgiving week, off. Therefore, her ex post about being off air because of the assassination plot is a lie. And yet she's not showing any proof whatsoever, no evidence, not even showing the email that she got from the supposed source. And last but not least, she went to Dollywood again during that Thanksgiving break, which she had to have had planned.
The Zio influencers are supposed to influence people into thinking that that is just so crazy and funny.
Again, it is funny because if I would have freeze framed that, you would clearly see that she has a smile on her face the entire damn time, because subconsciously, psychologically, physiologically, she knows that it's not true. But her constructed plan didn't go the way that she quite orchestrated it to. And she calls everybody that talks against her a Zionist. That's stereotyping and discriminatory because it's false and it's not true. She's so obsessed with the French, the same way that she claims Zionists are with Israel, with the Jewish. But yet the only one who is smiling is Candace, all the way to the bank, fooling everybody that she knows is gullible and naive enough to believe her. And it is hilarious that a lot of us see the truth. And it's not about numbers or money for many of us, because when you don't care about that, you can't hold it over somebody's head. But to Candace Owens, mark my words, power, money, connections, wealth, fame, that matters to her more than her audience ever will. That's why she plays them for the ignorant people that she thinks they are.
It's so funny. And hopefully with enough of them going out and making videos and peddling the same talking point and trying to turn it into like a cultural joke, you're supposed to ignore the fact that, hey, isn't it kind of strange that neither the White House or the Élysée Palace or even the United States Pentagon has formally denied this quote unquote crazy claim?
Again, that is counting on the ignorance, the naivete, the gullibility of her audience not understanding or knowing that the White House, the Pentagon, the Élysée Palace does not respond to lies, false claims, made up allegations, false allegations. They wouldn't be able to work and function if that's all they did. Like I said, the truth is one. The truth is what happened. The truth is what really occurred, not somebody's subjective thoughts, feelings, perspective. What objectively happened. The truth stands in and of itself. It is one. It is the truth. But lies are infinite amounts of possibilities that goes against the one truth. It is not their job to respond back to an infinite number of possibilities, aka lies. That's not only ludicrous, that is preposterous. And no, the White House is under no obligation or legal obligation whatsoever to address any false allegations of an assassination plot that did not occur. And let me remind you, no assassination plot was even attempted.
That's what Hollywood's for, right? You, all of you at home, all across the world, you're supposed to be fat and dumb and easily influenced by celebrities.
She might as well just come out with it and just call you all ugly too. She just called you fat and dumb. You're supposed to all be fat and dumb. Guess who's not fat and dumb? Not Candace Owens with her millionaire husband. And that's funny because she does try to influence you with her lies, her conspiracy theories, her false allegations, her made up claims, because she does consider herself a celebrity. She has almost 6 million followers on YouTube and almost 8 million on X. And she puts herself in the mainstream media and the news all the time with her bullshit, her provoking of real important people, not just nationally, but worldwide, because that's what narcissists and sociopaths do. They need that internal validation from everybody. They need their ego stroked. They need to feel important. And for somebody who since high school has been wanting to be famous, wanting to be in Hollywood, that's why she does the things that she does, to get her name in the news all the time. It not only drives up her views, therefore her money, therefore her website hits and subscriptions, it feeds the insatiable beast that is ego. She thrives and feeds off of that need for attention and internal validation, especially utilizing her celebrity status, maintaining and keeping her celebrity status at any cost, while convincing all you stupid and fat people that she's just one of you. She's not. She is the celebrity that is influencing you, that is manipulating you, that is calling you fat and dumb and giving you something to watch on your iPhone, on your electronic, your PC, your tablet, your MacBook. She wants you to watch her on YouTube, go to her website, buy her books, follow her on X, follow her on Instagram. She is influencing you, and she's doing it with every single word.
Because, like, don't you have any famous friends? Does Candace even have any famous friends? Like, don't you want to be cool? Don't you want to hang out with famous people? Famous people say that assassination attempt is just funny. That's just like an SNL bit.
That really got to her. It got to her the same way that Laura Loomer exposing that she had come to her as a liberal, asking her advice on how she can switch to being an African-American conservative and how she can do that to get more views, more attention, more fame. Not to get into politics because, well, she's not a politician. But when somebody points out that she doesn't have any famous friends except for Ye, who suffers from bipolar disorder and is not medicated, oftentimes in a manic episode, she really is pressed. She really is big mad over the fact that she is not the celebrity level and status that she thinks herself to be. And that fragility that she has deep down inside, knowing that she will never be a talent or as famous as somebody like Taylor Swift, that bothers her. Because the thing with narcissism, sociopaths, psychopaths, deep down inside, they are extremely fragile. That's why she is aggressive. That is why she is angry. That is why she is condescending. That's why she lashes out and why she had to address that, because it really does bother her that she's not as famous as she wants people to believe that she is. But that also begs the question, how famous does she have to get before she's ever satisfied? Because I don't think she ever will be satisfied. She feels like she is entitled to everything. And as somebody who is very devout in my faith and my belief in God, as a cancer survivor and just turning 40, being in remission for over 5 years now, I am extremely humbled and honored to have my community, my subscribers, my members, my friends. But I also don't have a cluster B personality disorder. I have too big of a heart and too big of a soul to care about vain, vapid, hollow things like fame, numbers, or money, because that's not what is going to get me into heaven.
They are dangerous, but the truth will win, and the truth is more powerful than a lie. And I really feel that, and I can't let my kids grow up in a world like this with these demons in control. I can't.
then that begs the question, why did you have 4 kids, knowing good, damn and well how evil and demonic and satanic the world is? Why would you just not have kids and bring them into such a world, or at least change the world before you decided to have 4 of them? But she is right about one thing: the truth will win. And mark my words, Tyler James Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. That simple, that easy.
And just us knowing what it is, and just the fact that so many people are awake to the reality that the assassination attempt was real.
I cannot wait to tell you all I told you so. Her body language and her gaze aversion is telling you that she is lying. She can't even maintain proper eye contact or straightforward gaze when she lies. And there she goes again, manipulating you. No, we do not know that it's real, because she didn't show us the email and show us the payment that was exchanged for said assassination, proving that therefore a crime occurred. I'm going to tell you how this works in the United States of America. I can say that I hate somebody and I wish they weren't here anymore all day long. That in and of itself is not a crime. People think things like that all the time when they get angry or hate somebody, or they're upset, or they have a mental disability or a mental illness. But the moment you orchestrate and plot to actually take that person's life, it doesn't become a crime until you actually exchange money for said plot. As far as murder for hire plots go. And she even admitted that she did not see any receipts of any money being exchanged. So therefore, she cannot confirm 100% with truth, with fact, with what objectively occurred and happened, that there was an assassination plot against her life. And she also omits that it was supposed to be against Xavier Poussard also, who is not the original investigative journalist into the story that Brigitte Macron is really transgender. Yes, he worked on it for 9 years, but he picked up where Mrs. Roy and Natasha Ray left off. And they're not even the original investigative journalists that concluded that Brigitte Macron is likely Jean-Michel Trogneau and is transgender, living as a woman. And yet none of them ever credit the former journalists who really did break the story in France. This is not news in France. This has been going around for over 13 years. My mother's doctor, who is a pain specialist, a neurologist, and a sleep specialist, double board certified, was born and raised in France. In fact, his siblings still live in France and he goes there all the time. He's actually friends with the neurologist, the private personal neurologist to President Emmanuel Macron. This is not new in France. This has been going around since the original investigative journalist was doing a biography on Emmanuel Macron before he became president. He was the youngest deputy chief of staff to the former president. The French presidential terms are 5 years, and you can only do 2. And he's almost done with his second term. So that's almost 10 years. He's over halfway done with his second term, I believe the end of 2027 or maybe early 2028.
You're not going to make it to heaven if you side with the devil. And the devil is always lying and hiding and obscuring.
She just went on a whole 3-minute spew about how these fake preachers, ministers working with Turning Point USA are hiding behind the cloth. They are using religion to curry political favor. And yet she's doing the same exact psychological manipulation that she is blaming other people. That is hypocrisy at its finest. She's telling you that you won't get into heaven. You won't get into heaven if you side with the devil. Well, I guess almost 8 million people on X and almost 6 million people on YouTube are going straight to hell because, like I said, she might have had good intentions once, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and she is leading everybody straight there to the pits of hell while telling you that the devil is everybody and everything else except for her. Candace Owens is not my idol. I do not take any other idol besides God. She is not my God. And let me make this abundantly clear to you. She is not your God. You do not worship Candace Owens. I do not worship Candace Owens. And the fact that she has taken it this far, I'm within my right to say, fuck Candace Owens. What she is doing to psychologically manipulate with words, with emotion, even utilizing religion is pure evil because she has been caught in lots of lies. She is going to go down as the liar, the grifter of this generation.
The truth is free, man. It's so easy to tell the truth. I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp. Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
The truth is free. It's that easy. It is that simple. The feds haven't come out and answered any simple questions, even though they answered who the killer of Charlie Kirk was with his 100-year-old gun. But she now blames Turning Point USA and that they need to answer all the questions. The questions that Utah law enforcement who brought the charges against Charlie Kirk's killer, they would have it, the prosecuting attorney, his defense attorney, because the truth is that Charlie Kirk was killed by a 22-year-old liberal young man named Tyler James Robinson. And for what reason? What we know as of right now, because he thought Charlie Kirk, quote, spread too much hate, unquote. Why? Because he said, quote, he saw an opportunity and he took it, unquote. That's the truth. 46 to over 52 people every day die by gun violence, singular gun violence, in the United States of America. Every day, Charlie Kirk's death and the crime of his homicide fit a very cliche and typical pattern of crime and behavior in the United States of America. But he wasn't a president, but we've had other assassinations of real political figures, activists, advocates, President Abraham Lincoln, President Garfield, President McKinley, President JFK, JFK's brother, John Lennon, Martin Luther King Jr., and their deaths, their murders, their assassinations, their homicides fit a pattern of behavior in crime. A young to middle-aged white man who simply doesn't align with the same politics of that person, radicalized and or mentally ill, had easy access to a weapon and ammunition and took the opportunity. Mark my words, that is the truth. And like I said, you can always pin this video and come back to it later, but at the end, Candace Owens is not going to admit that she was wrong, that she didn't, like she said verbatim, we are going to solve the murder of my friend Charlie Kirk, unquote. She can't do that because they already solved it. And pending the trial, no, they are not going to compromise their case, nor the legal, civil, constitutional rights of Tyler James Robinson, and answer somebody's demands and questions, because who in the hell is Candace Owens to demand anything from anybody?
And to answer basic questions about that day.
Again, not their job. The entitlement, the grandiosity, they do not owe Candace Owens a fucking thing, nor do they have to answer to her or bend the knee to her. Who died and made Candace Owens God? Because she's not my God.
I agree with you on that. You know, I totally agree with you that right now we're kind of in this new era where only authenticity is going to float.
If only authenticity is what floats, then Candace Owens is going to be the first to go.
Everything does just genuinely feel so fake and gay and performative, and it's a show. And
Candace Owens is fake and gay. Her show is performative. She is performing. She is acting. She quite literally is inauthentic and performs on her show daily. That's what she claims is her job. So according to her logic, she is the fakest and the gayest.
the fake audience applause and fake laughter. And no, I just want to see that you guys cared about him.
The world does care about him. They helped find his killer. They helped the feds, who helped with resources, the Utah law enforcement. They found the person responsible. He is going to trial. But Candace Owens, she made over 7 figures, over 1.2 million in just her first couple videos off of Charlie Kirk's death. Lies, conspiracy theories, false allegations. So why aren't we seeing that Candace Owens truly cared about Charlie Kirk? She didn't even attend his private funeral, viewing, burial, didn't even fly to go say goodbye to him, let alone attend his actual public memorial. And now, as predicted, she's copping out and won't even face Turning Point USA and possibly Erica.
Candace writes, the propaganda machine isn't working on us. Thank God you aren't going in person. We pray for you daily. My hubby and I support you and the truth fully. America first, go Max, Team Candace. And you know what?
I know Charlie Kirk is watching, and if he was here, I can guarantee he would have called Candace Owens out. That would be the one thing in the one moment that he would have buckled and said, fuck your free speech. I truly believe he would have faced her head on in the things that she is doing. She literally is the propaganda machine. If you believe Candace Owens, then you are brainwashed because you are believing her propaganda. He didn't say go Max. He said go pro Max. He said 3 words, not 2. And if you support the truth, well, you're not getting it from Candace Owens. The truth is, at this very moment, that Tyler James Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, and he is the only person that was indicted, charged, arrested, and is facing trial. Please, again, mark my words. It will come out during and after his trial and sentencing.
I just want to like push it out of my way. I just wanted to like, just like punch him in the arm. I just want to punch Blake Neff in the arm.
She just went on an entire spew at the beginning of this video about her assassination and the violence of her assassination, which didn't even happen. The attempt of an assassination didn't even happen. And yet here she is talking about wanting to push people and punch them. I bet you behind closed doors, Candace Owens is a plate thrower because no normal person talks like that.
Don't laugh. You can't sit with us. We're the cool kids. It's so silly. Like, okay, I don't know who pulled. What was that? Who pulled that? That's hilarious. I didn't expect that. But like, I'm sorry. Who is being influenced by Cam Higby?
The way that she tries to undermine, belittle, berate other content creators, influencers, religious, spiritual leaders, ministers, priests, pastors, and then try to get people like a mean girl clique also make fun of that person. No, Candace, everybody is making fun of you. The only people that you're influencing are people that are dumb and believe you. People that don't have a brain and cannot hear and think for themselves. Because I too used to watch her content and left the cult of Candace Owens because I wasn't paying enough attention. Charlie Kirk's death changed that for me. And I wasn't even a fan of Charlie Kirk. I didn't hate the guy, but I wasn't a fan. And yet his death exposed to me who and what Candace Owens really is. That is divine. The only thing she cares about is status, influencing, having a show, being famous, Hollywood, celebrities, famous friends, having her name all over the mainstream media and in the news. You know what? I'm going to say what needs to be said. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Fuck you, Candace Owens. You are not more important than anybody else. Your show is shit because it completely depends on somebody's murder. It depends on conspiracy theories, unfounded allegations, false allegations. It depends on slandering, libeling, defaming, hurting and harming real people, even doxing real people. If that's the kind of influence that you want to have over real people, you can keep it. You can have it. You can claim it. You can own it because none of us that are good, decent human beings want any part to do with that shit. But to actively try to tear down somebody else's platform who you don't even know by being just simply cruel and mean. Guess what, Candace? You're not the prettiest. You're not the smartest. You're not the brightest. You're not the best. You're not the funniest. You're not the best influencer. You're not God. You're not the judge, jury, and executioner. And neither am I, but I'm not egotistical, conceited, condescending, patronizing. Don't have to constantly provoke or tear other people down to validate my place in the world. What a sad, pathetic, and fucking cliche existence and way to conduct yourself and your content and the very real influence that she has over millions of people. And yet it's never good enough for her. It is never enough for her because she's a sociopath. She's a psychopath. She is incapable of actually feeling anything real, anything tangible. Instead, she gets her kicks by literally trying to hit below the belt. Like, what is that person influencing? Not an agenda from the other side of the planet. Not evil. Not the opposite of truth, lies and conspiracy theories and false allegations. I know I speak for myself, but I'm sure there's lots of others that would also feel the same way. If it comes down to being a small influencer and content creator that only has 10,000 good people, we'd take that any day over having 6 million people and be like you. And that right there should be the biggest awakening for anybody who still consumes and watches Candace Owens. Pray for her damned, possessed soul and her children. But her behavior, actions, words, and choices are no longer justifiable or excusable. That's not truth. That is not justice. That is using and abusing your platform, misusing your platform to do your figurative pushing and punching.
Hey, we're not invited. We can't come to the party. We can't hang out with famous people and cool people. We can't be at the Pentagon flossing like it's like the Miami Strip or something. We get it. Okay. Next.
Oh, so that's why she was talking about the Pentagon and their claim that there is no such plot to assassinate Candace Owens, and why she always mentions Laura Loomer, because Laura Loomer recently got access to the Pentagon with other individual journalists and investigative journalists. She's jealous. Candace Owens is jealous of Laura Loomer. And if you don't know, Laura Loomer literally puts Candace Owens in her place all the time on X. Crazy, psychotic, or not, she tells the truth. And Candace cannot stand the fact that she has more political pull than she ever will, because she's over here actually reporting on real politics in America, while Candace Owens is relying on dumb Americans behind a screen. She's jealous. And you know she's jealous because she thought it to say it. If it wasn't on her mind, she wouldn't have said it.
We'll never sit with you again. You guys can keep sitting by yourselves forever, cool kids. Can we get the real kids? I don't know.
You should move to Australia or the UK, where your husband's titles might actually afford you some kind of real celebrity. Or how about France? They have cool kids in France. She's literally jealous of Laura Loomer. That is so funny. She thought she was just going to slip her easy little way right into politics, and it didn't work out for her. She got snubbed by Donald Trump or being any part of his administration and getting her foot in the door into politics. And when Charlie Kirk died, her best bet into politics died also. She's bitter, she is angry, she is jealous, envious, she's greedy, and she just exposed herself for the frail and small person she really is.
Charlie was always authentic. He authentically loved Israel.
Yeah, duh, we know that. We have the entire letter that he wrote to Benjamin Netanyahu before he died. His own show, his own words. Never did he say anything about Israel other than he loves Israel and he wants Israel to win, always. The one truth that has finally slipped her lips regarding Charlie Kirk.
Not signing up my sons as Christians to go fight and slaughter other Christians, okay? I'm not signing up my sons to believe that our biggest threat is Muslims.
Too bad for you that when your sons are all 18, that they can sign themselves up. They can make that decision as full-grown men. That's not going to be up to you. You do not own your children. They will be their own people and their own men. But I love her mentioning of Muslims. Coincidence? Because it said she takes money from them to drive these conspiracy theories and to drive this wedge between the conservative coalition of America, of which she claims, but is not really a part of. And Laura Loomer exposed that. She was just cosplaying being a conservative.
But we just somehow can't stop bombing innocents in their countries. We're out. We're done.
You know, I have actually prayed for Candace Owens. And if you go back and look for the last almost 3 months of my videos covering her actions, words, choices, and behaviors, no one is paying me. I'm not a Zionist. I'm not Jewish. But if somebody wants to pay me, I'm not going to stop them. I have gone over this time and time again that she is a nutcase, but I've still urged people to pray for her and pray for her kids. But as of right now, I'll leave that up to you. Right now, I'm going to just really grind her gears. Here's a picture of Laura Loomer, again, with the woman from the Pentagon, who said she cannot confirm, nor did she ever hear anything about a real assassination plot against the life of Candace Owens and Xavier Poussard. Candace can sit there and throw around words like violence, assassination plot against my life, the assassination on my life. It was a joke because it was not confirmed to be real at all. It wasn't violent or violence because there was no assassination. There was no assassination attempt either on her or Xavier Poussard. And going by what Candace Owens has said herself, that if they want you dead, they're going to kill you. Just because you supposedly found out about this alleged assassination plot doesn't mean that they're going to not still go ahead with it. Why would you even assume that? You can't even verify, corroborate, fact check, or confirmed the alleged plot that did not even happen to even be able to say that there was a plot. How do you know it's still not a plot? Do you really think that it's going to be any consequence of any other nation to take out one American? Because if they want you dead, they're going to make you dead. That's again her misrepresenting and twisting, manipulating words to make you believe that there really was an assassination plot, that it was against her life and violent, even though it didn't even happen. It wasn't even confirmed. In fact, quite the opposite. She didn't show the email or the proof that $1.5 million was paid by Emmanuel Macron to anybody, let alone to assassins to kill her and Xavier Poussard. That is the exact tactic of circle jerk, human centipede that she does to make you think it was real, to make you think it was the truth, to lead you to believe what she wants you to believe, not what is objectively truth. That's what she does. She doesn't just twist the truth. She lies. It would be very interesting to see her take an FBI-administered lie detector test. But assassination plot? No, it's not true. It's not real. It didn't happen. It was never a thing. It was never a real thing, other than words out of her mouth. But as promised, I'm going to show you this clip from my previous video just to give you a refresher. Yes, Candace Owens was spotted at Dollywood in 2024. However, the new picture that was leaked directly from the source to House Inhabit was taken during Thanksgiving break, which also happens to be the exact time that Candace Owens said she had an assassination plot against her life. The problem with this is she left off that Friday with "See you Monday." Oh wait, no I won't. And then her producer cut the audio. She had already been planning a week-long vacation because of Thanksgiving, but the assassination plot she posted on 11/22/2025 on X. And as you can see, this is the exact type and text in French that Xavier Poussard had posted on X, of which he posted first and Candace Owens just simply reshared with an English translation. And it says, urgent, 2 days ago, which would be 11/20/2025. Yet November 20th and 21st was a Thursday and a Friday. And no, for all the paid controlled operatives and bots who are saying otherwise, well, look at the date. So that begs the question, why on Thursday and Friday, November 20th and 21st, if she was already aware of this said alleged plot, did she not mention it? Because it wasn't time for her to post this alleged assassination plot yet. Because the truth is, it didn't exist. It's not real. Her episode, Thursday and Friday, November 20th and 21st of 2025. Another French front. Did Charlie Kirk save my life? No, he didn't, because there was no assassination plot. As you can see, her X post on the screen, urgent. This was November 22nd, 2025, 2 days ago. 2 days ago would have been November 20th. And yet, Thursday and Friday, with this episode, Operation See You in Valhalla, Charlie, she doesn't mention any such assassination plot against her life at all. She also fails to mention the assassination plot allegedly against Xavier Poussard as well, who he himself is not the original investigator on Brigitte Macron.
We'll see you on Monday. Oh wait, no we won't. Just
if you want to take that out of context, go right ahead.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Please like and share. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and I will catch you all on the next one. Have a great night, everybody.